Prosecutors have just rested their case in the fraud trial of former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort. CNN's Kara Scannell is outside the federal courthouse in Alexandria, Virginia. Kara, about a day later than we expected, but the prosecution has rested.
That's right, Jim. 10 days, 27 witnesses. The prosecution rested their case just before 5 o'clock today. This was after they had called Rick Gates, Manafort's right-hand man, who testified over 2.5 days. It all goes to their allegations that Manafort had filed false tax returns, did not disclose foreign bank accounts, which they say he did not pay taxes on $16 million. The jury also heard a story of how Manafort had defrauded banks out of $20 million by not giving truthful information to them about the conditions and the parameters of his income that related to these loans. The government ended their case today, with the jury hearing a lot from one of those bankers who testified that he would not have recommended that the bank give the loan, but he said that it went ahead anyway because the chairman of the bank, Stephen Koch, had authorized it. And Koch, of course, the jury had heard testimony earlier in the week that he was trying to get a position in the administration, and that is why he expedited these loans. So, Jim, the court session is still ongoing, but we're not in there because it's a sealed session dealing with some motions that were filed under seal by the defense. And of course, Friday, there was no testimony, no activity in the court for nearly 5 hours. All of that was sealed. The judge told us that we will eventually learn what that's about, but not today. Jim?
You know, being in that courtroom last week, the defense counsel, some pretty aggressive questioning of the star witness, Rick Gates, Manafort's former deputy there. Defense is up next, of course. Do we have an idea of what kind of rebuttal they're going to attempt to present?
The judge told the defense to be ready tomorrow to state what kind of case they're going to bring on. He also said if Paul Manafort decides not to testify, he will ask him in court to say that on the record so it's clear that Manafort is making this decision on his own. But the defense has not said what they plan to do yet. They'll have to do that tomorrow. But they have been trying to make their case through various witnesses by trying to get some of the bankers to elicit that they did know that some of Manafort's documents were not perfect, that also the bank had made its own errors on some of these applications. So the defense strategy has really been to try to, get some punches in where they can against some of these witnesses. And we'll find out tomorrow if Manafort's going to take the stand or if the defense will call any witnesses or just rest their case as well, Jim.